welcome to the S24 Sammy show. My name's Cory. Here is the last video of for my opinions on the PlayStation 4 and the Xbox One. We've been over the online services for either thing, and we've also talked about the hardware. Now the last thing I'm going to talk about is the controllers and the exclusive games, and partially about the games that are coming on both systems on launch day and in the future. Going into the controllers, basically the new things with the PlayStation 4 controller is that there's going to be a trackpad, which is, you know, what you use for a laptop. That might get in the way for some hardcore gamers. They might not like that. I don't really know how they're going to use that. I don't know if it really is going to affect you while you're in the game. I feel like it might be more like if you're in, like, on the dashboard, or you're on the menu of a game, or if you're you're pausing the game and you can just quickly go like that instead of maybe using the trigger, which whatever way is faster for you, that works. I think it's kind of cool how they're putting it on there. It might get in the way sometimes if I were to be playing a Call of Duty or something like that, where maybe I'm hitting the square button, which is the X button equivalent for the Xbox, and you accidentally hit it because it's right in the middle of the controller. Sam might have a picture of it up on the video. You might accidentally hit it, your thumb might accidentally slide. Maybe that does something to your game where you don't want to do, you end up dying. Like I mentioned before, I feel like it's going to be more like when you're on the dashboard or something like that. So if you don't want to use the triggers or the D-pad to move around the dashboard, you can just move it like a laptop, which you're kind of used to. So I don't have a whole lot of information about that. You might find it somewhere, but I don't think they're going to go too much into it at this point. Really not much new with the Xbox One. Oh, sorry, there's one more feature with the PlayStation 4 controller, is the share button. And the share button is basically you share what happened in your game. This has happened in EA Sports, has this in Madden, where you share the final score of the game or whatever, and NBA has it for if your My Player does something fantastic, you can tweet it and put it on Facebook, so all your friends can see how wonderful you're doing in your game. If you really care about sharing what you did on your games by just a Facebook or Twitter status, then that could be one way to go. It shouldn't really be a major difference, but if it is for you, then the PlayStation 4 controller might be what you would like, because it's literally right there for you to share. I'm not sure how it works. I don't know what it exactly shares for. I don't know if it has it for every game. I'm assuming it would, just because it's right on the controller. But
maybe it would share a snapshot.
It might share a snapshot, like Sam said. That'd be kind of cool actually, because people always take screenshots with their smartphones these days about something, and I think that'd be interesting. Another new thing Sam mentioned to me before this, with the PlayStation 4 controller, is that I guess when you open up the guide button, I guess it'll show the entire dashboard.
Well, I know it does for the PlayStation 3.
For the PlayStation 3 it does that, so maybe they can, if they were to continue that with the PlayStation 4, I'd kind of like that. Just have my dashboard kind of right there with everything, and then it wouldn't have the annoying Xbox pop-ups where on my 360, if I start up a game, I want to see, something open up something for my game, and then I hit the Xbox guide button, and then all of a sudden, whoop, it goes to my friend's message I didn't want to see, or that it shows my friend's beacon set up that they're playing this game, which I don't care about at all. It's really only nice if you're playing the game and you see your friend got on it, but you can always open up your Xbox guide button for that. Anyways, the Xbox One controller, there's not much new to it. It looks like the guide button's kind of on the top now. It's not in the center. If you see the picture of it, I'm not sure if that's what it actually does or not. Otherwise, pretty much everything's the same. I guess there's better grip for the triggers now. Since I have a 360, I like the handle of the 360 controller, and I'm used to it. I've liked it better because I had a PlayStation 2, And I like the PlayStation 2 controller. It just seemed like it was a little wide, and it seemed like the 360, like it fits my hands pretty nice, and I like it. If that's a huge factor for you and you're already used to it, then that obviously you'd want to stay with your system. But there's really not much really different about the Xbox One controller, except it seems like the triggers seem to be better, and you don't have the guide button in the middle anymore. Whereas the PlayStation 4 controller is bringing you something new to your daily life with your gaming system. Now on to the exclusive games. I'm going to start with the Xbox One. I apologize because I don't know a whole lot of information on all of these games, because some of them are just not as interested for me. I'm only going to really tell about the games. I'll give you all the titles for them. I apologize if I don't know the plot lines and everything about them. It's just some of them I honestly don't care about, and this is just my opinion of it. You might like a game better, and Sam's going to be having his own videos for each thing in response to mine, so maybe he'll talk more about them. The first one for the Xbox One is Below. I've never really heard of that much. Crimson Dragon I haven't heard much about. Same with D4. Dead Rising 3. I've never beaten Dead Rising 1. I've played it many times at my cousin's house, and I really enjoy it. If I were to buy it on my own, I'd probably, play it more. It's just I have so many games I bought this year that I have to get around to. I just don't have time for it. But I've always been a fan of the Dead Rising series. Many people are, so that's going to be an Xbox One exclusive, and that's huge. Like, it is a pretty big community. And especially with Dead Rising 2, they added the online capabilities, which they didn't have on Dead Rising 1, and a lot of people seem to like the Dead Rising 2 multiplayer experience. So that's going to be a big key for them. Forza Motorsport 5, that's probably going to be the biggest racing game that I've seen. Forza Motorsport 4, I think, was probably one of the most sold, maybe most sold racing games of all time. I'm not the biggest racing game fan. Sam's going to go more into that because I know he likes Forza Motorsport a lot and driving games in general. Big shocker here, Halo's only for Xbox One. Didn't see that coming at all, of course. We don't have a lot of information on Halo 5 because Halo 4 just came out this year. It probably won't come out for a while. I wouldn't expect 343 Industries to really come out with a new game right away. They're not like the Call of Duty where they have a new game every year. They wait 2 to 3 years usually for a Halo game. But I know for Xbox people like myself, I like Halo. Most people who have a 360 love Halo to death. I never really got into the story very much. Maybe if I had to go back and play the original Halo, I'd like it more. I really played it more for the online. Me and Sam talked about this before we started recording. We probably played about 700 hours, maybe 1,000 hours of Halo 3. I still have that when I bought my 360 4 years ago. Like, came with that and Fable 2, and I still have Halo 3 throughout these 4 years I've had it. So that just shows you how great of a game it was to me. And we played so much online with it, whether it was custom games, matchmaking, whatever you name it. So I was more in it for the online, and the online for me hasn't really changed much. I know the firefight is very interesting, but it really didn't change my experience much. That's why I didn't have Halo 4 for very long. People will be like, but Cory, Call of Duty's the same thing every year. Yeah, I know, but I like it because it's, I wouldn't call it the most realistic shooter because it is kind of an arcadey sort of feel to it, where you wouldn't really call it, like, I think Battlefield 4, or the Battlefield series is just as real as it gets, or a Medal of Honor. But with Call of Duty, you just have so much wacky crap to it, and they really have the multiplayer shooter down to a science. And, maybe it's the same thing every year, but at least with the DLC, it seems like they're pretty innovative with what they come out with, especially with the zombies, which is what they differentiate themselves from Halo. Although Spartanos was a very good idea with Halo 4, which I enjoyed playing them. So I think Halo's going to be a major thing for Xbox people, especially here on the show. Then there's a couple Kinect games like Kinect Sports. Don't care enough about to talk about those. Killer Instinct I haven't really heard of. Minecraft is going to be a huge thing. A lot of people love Minecraft. I personally don't play it a whole lot. I'm a pretty simple-minded guy, which, although it's weird with movies, I like Quentin Tarantino, so he's very detail-orientated, but whatever reason when it comes to games, I'm not as detail-orientated as a lot of gamers are. I don't really need my story to, just to be like straightforward or anything. I mean, it doesn't need to be like that, but I'm talking more with like gameplay where Minecraft is like, it's pretty much being as creative as you want, and there's really no instructions. It's no straightforward, this is how you do this. I mean, I know there's tutorials on how to do it, but it's really up to you, and I'm just really not that kind of guy. I kind of need things explained to me a couple, 3 or 4 times just so I can get it down. And I'm just not the most detail-oriented guy, but a lot of people love Minecraft because of the creativity, and they can just kind of have their own little world, and I do like that. And if I were to get more into it and play it, I'd probably really, really enjoy it. It's just not my thing. But if you're really into Minecraft, and that's like a game you always play, you might want to stay with your Xbox. Quantum Break, I've heard a little bit about it. That seems interesting. Project Spark, that really caught me and Sam's eye actually about an hour ago. We were looking through the E3 press conferences again. It seems interesting how they've kind of integrated it with Smart Glass. Basically, I don't know what the plot is, I don't know why you're doing these things, but it's a very open world sort of game. You can, like, I guess it's kind of like a tower defense game. Like, you make your own, like, little place to defend from these monsters or whatever's coming in to attack you. You can upgrade and have, like, your own pet, like Rock, apparently, and other things, crazy puns like that. And, you can upgrade him to be able to defend your turf or whatever. It seems very interesting, and then, like, with the Smart Glass, he was able, the guy doing the tutorial, was able to talk and, touch a lot of things on his smartphone or tablet or whatever he used, and was able to use that in the game. So that looks very interesting. If we get more information about that, or you want to go look that up, I would really suggest it. It looks very cool. Most of these games I don't know much about. I'll just stop listing the ones I don't know. Zoo Tycoon, I don't know why that's coming to the 360. As a fan of Roller Coaster Tycoon when I was 7, so that's pretty much all I have for that. Titanfall was the major game that came out for the release of the Xbox One talks. There's not a whole lot of information about it, but I am pretty intrigued by it. It seems online is going to be a lot of fun. I don't know a lot about the plot or anything. I'm going to go look up more information about it later on, and maybe we'll have more of a preview about it later on, but it looks really cool. And if it's one of those games where it really catches my eye, I might keep my, not 360, I might buy an Xbox One when it comes out. Otherwise, those are the main titles you really need to worry about. There's some other games on there that you can look on if you really care about. Now on to the PlayStation 4. Black Ops Retribution, I don't know much about. I looked into it a little bit. Seems cool. The major one that I personally don't really, care about is Final Fantasy. Number 5 million. I don't know how many there are. There's about 15 or 16. A lot of people love Final Fantasy, and it's the most well-known RPG in mankind, I want to say, because it's very popular everywhere. I'm not a fan of it. I don't really know what it is about it. I don't hate it. I don't necessarily like it. It's just I couldn't really get into it, which I know a lot of people are going to really love that. So Final Fantasy people, if that's the one game you really, really love to play, you might want to switch over to PlayStation 4. Daylight, I've read some stuff about. DC Universe Online has really caught my eye. It's MMO, and it's also actually on the PlayStation 3. It's pretty cool. You kind of take not any DC hero, but many of the DC heroes, hence not Spider-Man, he's Marvel, sorry, Superman, Batman, and anyone from DC, even Aquaman, if you really want to be that stupid. Why would you want to be Aquaman? But basically, it's, an MMO, you basically, you level up your character by doing a bunch of missions and blah, blah, blah. And for a while it was only on the computer, but then they integrated it to be on the PlayStation 3. I don't know how the controls really work for that, because with MMOs, you're not really using a controller very much. I know there's certain controllers you can buy for a PC, but usually people are using their mouse and their keyboard for everything, so I don't know how they really have the control set up for that. But I'm very interested in that, because I love all the superheroes and stuff like that. So if you always wanted to, have, your own thing, and you can also play as the DC villains as well, so you can play as the Joker and all those guys. So if you ever wanted to, go through a story of, your favorite DC heroes in MMO kind of experience, this is the game for you, and it's really caught my eye. And you might want to have a PlayStation 4 for that. or if you really don't care about that and you want to still play it and you have a really high-powered PC, I suggest that as well. Next is Drive Club, which is kind of like Sony's version. They're trying to equate it with Forza. I don't really know what the differences are. Sam's going to go more into that, like I've said before. He's the racing guy around here. Chad also likes racing games as well. Gran Turismo, that's also a very popular franchise. Infamous Second Son. I'm not a huge fan of the Infamous series. I know Sam likes it a lot. It's interesting. I never really cared much about it, but I know that's a very big Sony exclusive. Killzone, which is a lot like, I guess people have said it's a lot like Halo. I've never actually played it. But it's a shooter. Obviously, people seem to like it a lot. I've seen a lot of gameplay for it. It looks very interesting, and for right now, it's kind of got my vote if I were to switch to PlayStation 4. The Order 1866. This game we don't really have much information about, and I apologize I can't talk much about it. It caught my eye at E3 though, because all we really have right now is that E3 trailer, and then maybe some things like on the internet. But there really is not much about like what the plot is or anything it is. All I know is that it looks fucking sick. So that's all I really have to say about that. It looks really cool. I'll try to give like a preview of it eventually once I get more information about it. But I think if you just want to look up the trailer, once this video is done, go do it. I'm doing you a huge favor. You need to go watch that trailer. It looks amazing. PlanetSide 2, I've heard the PlanetSide series. It's not really interesting to me, but I know a lot of people like it. And that's pretty much all I really need to talk about for the PlayStation 4 exclusives. As you can tell, probably in my voice and the way I've been acting, I like the PlayStation 4 exclusives a little bit more. However, as a 360 owner, if I were to switch over, I would miss a Halo, but it wouldn't be that big of a deal. But like we've restated before here at the show, whatever exclusives you really like, they're coming onto the system. If you're really dead set on Halo and you can't live without Halo, you should just buy your Xbox One. Even though maybe the hardware or something else might be better online for you, in your opinion, on Sony's side, maybe you just can't live without Halo, I would suggest you would just buy the Xbox One so you wouldn't have to worry about saying, oh, I can't play the new Halo now because I bought this. And personally, I won't miss it, and also same with Minecraft. That's also a huge Xbox title as well. If you can't live without Minecraft, the only alternative would be to be able to play it like on the computer. Like if you really are hard set on buying a PlayStation 4 and you like everything about it, but you're worried about Minecraft not being able to play it, you can always play it on the computer. Same thing with DC Universe Online, you can play that on the computer as well. Actually, a lot of games you can play on the computer, like on Steam. I'm forgetting to mention that, but not everyone likes that. Some of the games that are going to be coming out on launch days for both things are going to be stuff like, I believe, the NBA and all those sports games like that. Watch Dogs is a game to watch out for. Sorry for that kind of a pun there. But I really am excited for that game. I'll definitely be getting a preview for that. I'm very excited for it. I like how it's really innovative in the whole, you can hack an entire city. You can just hack into anyone's phone. You find out the information about them. You can just black out the entire city. I'll get more into that another time. Some other games are going to be like the Call of Duties, Assassin's Creed's, Battlefield. I'm not really looking forward to the new Call of Duty as much as usual. I like them, but it just doesn't seem like it's going to be that new. I've always felt like they've done at least a little bit something new in every game. I try to do the best I can in judging that. Another interesting thing is that everyone here at the show likes UFC. They've been with THQ for a while, but we all know THQ is bankrupt and they're going out of business. And now EA's got the rights to it, and I want to see what EA does with it. I play Madden. I really enjoy Madden, but I've always enjoyed the 2K football games a lot more, which is why I'm mad that they're only allowed to make their football games. But that's a whole other discussion for another day. I'm interested to see what they do with UFC. Elder Scrolls Online is going to be very fun. I'm a fan of Bethesda's games. I know Sam loves them as well. Kingdom Hearts 3 is a big announcement. No one really here at the show cares too much for it, but I think we'll definitely talk about it because many people do enjoy the game. Mirror's Edge 2 is interesting. I wasn't a fan of the first just because I sucked at it. That's just because I suck at video games. Star Wars Battlefront, I think we're going to talk a lot more soon. We really only have a trailer for it, but I loved Battlefront 1 and 2 so much. I had them both for PlayStation 2. I probably spent most of my childhood playing those games, and I know there's online for it, but I didn't really have the online capabilities as my 11, 10-year-old self at that time, and I'm really interested to see what they're going to do in general with Battlefront 3, like what the story and campaign is going to be, and also what are they going to do online now that they have these capabilities with Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus. Like, I'm wondering if we can do, like, Galactic Conquest. You know how you could do that with just like
I kind of remember.
It's basically you take over the entire Star Wars, map.
Right. Yeah.
It was basically. I'm trying to think of an equivalent to it. It's like
Isn't it pretty much where you go planet to planet?
You go planet to planet and you like fight over. You can like fight over a neutral base that hasn't been taken over by either player, or you can go like one of the players like invaded like your planet and you have to go defend it. And then like there was times in the second game where you had like a power ups where you could have like a Jedi to defend you. Like you just have like Mace Windu, you just kick everyone's ass. So I wonder if they would be able to do that online. You do online Galactic Conquest. And
one thing that would be interesting, I think, is if they set it up where you could, I don't know, this might be something kind of like, you know how like Madden you set it up where you have your own like league or whatever?
Yeah, we have our own franchises.
Franchise, that's what I mean. And you have people in it. I wonder if you could set it up where you have like 8 different people in it, split it up into teams, and you each.
I'm wondering if they'd have like it'd be like a Call of Duty clone where they have like their own team death matches, or like, because I know like regularly they'd have it to where like there's a certain amount of people on each side. It was like 200, I believe, and you just kept on killing people until like everyone died, and like all the computers died. Excuse me. Everyone on the computers died. You would win that match. I wonder. Maybe they go more the Call of Duty route, or they keep it like they used to. Like, I'm very intrigued. We're both intrigued by this. We'll get more information soon for you guys. Obviously, we're going to talk a lot about it because we're very excited for that. Need for Speed is going to be interesting. Otherwise, that's pretty much it for you. And then all the sports games and stuff like that. That's it for my opinions and a little bit of Sam's for the exclusives and some of the games that are coming out for both systems. I'm going to give my final thoughts really quick. Basically, I've explained in every video, and in the middle of videos, in this one too, here at the show, we're just giving our basic opinions of what we like about each system and what we don't like. We're not trying, in a way we're trying to persuade you to maybe which side, because we all have our own opinions, but it's really up to you to decide what's really important to you. If, say if, like, an example would be the whole DRM thing, if that was still going on and you didn't really care that you had to pay, check in every 24 hours and pay for used game fees just because you're rich or whatever, you just don't care because you want to be loyal to Microsoft, which is your own opinion, then you'd be fine in just buying your Xbox One. But if you really think something is different about another system and you want to cross over and you think, well, this is really interesting to me, this is going to help me out on the long run, then you should really look more into that, and instead of just staying loyal to a company that doesn't care about you at the end of the day. They care about your wallet and how much money you're giving to them. They don't care about me at all, they just care about if I'm buying the system or not. That's all they care about at the end of the day. But basically, try to take my advice for either thing, and Sam will be giving his advice pretty soon, and try to base off your own opinions, and if you agree with something with me and you go, hey, yeah, that's actually kind of interesting, and, he's really objective about either thing. He's not really being a bias towards either, then, take that into consideration, and thank you very much for watching. You can follow the show on Twitter, S24 Sammy Show. There's also a Facebook page for facebook.com/S24 Sammy. You can follow me on Twitter at cbender27. Don't add me on Facebook. I'm not going to add you, you creep motherfucker. You can add Sam if you want to, though. He loves everyone. And you can add Chad at Chad also if you really want. On Twitter or sorry, I was going to say Facebook, and he has a Twitter at Chad721, and Sam's personal one is at Silers. So that's the show for you. We'll be coming out with some Let's Play videos, actually, I think pretty soon as well. We're going to start learning how to live stream on Twitch and YouTube, and we'll be having Sam's advice as well for either system. Thank you very much, and enjoy the rest of your day, or night, or whatever the fuck time you're at. Have a good day.